You know, there's an old saying, be careful what you pray for. Because sometimes your heart's desires really do come true. Your prayers really do get answered, almost just as you prayed them. Sometimes I fear we just play Lent. We don't take it quite so seriously as perhaps Lent deserves to be taken. We don't really get it. We don't realize, sometimes it seems to me, that this can become crucial for the rest of our life, that this stuff can really become the stuff of our formation into Christ in this world, and how much Lent can really matter in helping us become better human beings, more capable of love. This morning I asked Sister Linda to share just a little something about how true that can be, how true Lent can be for us. The gospel question: what has become of your Easter potato?
At the beginning of Lent, I reflected with you on the Easter potato and how perhaps all of us could work during Lent on cutting the I out of our lives a bit more. Getting rid of our egos, the false self, and living a more surrendered life to God's ways, the true self. And then, hopefully by Easter, becoming more loving, more other-centered. Little did I realize on Ash Wednesday what that might mean for me. As most of you know, 2 weeks later, I woke up to Santa's voice saying, "Linda, we have to go. There's a fire next door." I live in intentional community with Santa Cudahy, not the other Santa. I think the firemen got a big laugh when they said, "Is anyone missing?" I go, "Santa's in the house, Santa's in the house." She was. It was 4:45 a.m., and I am a bit out of it when I wake up. What? What? I said. And she replied, "Get your purse and your phone and get out. There's a fire." Well, I was alert enough to grab my coat, too. And I went while Santa woke up our neighbors next door. The fire began in their basement, and our homes are attached. The fire also spread to the neighbor on the other side. So 5 of us were huddled outside as the firemen came to put out the flames. You know, it's a rather helpless feeling to see smoke coming out of your attic and know there's a fire there. Not to be able to, like, grab a hose and start squirting it or yell to the firemen, "It's here, it's over here." Especially when your bedroom is right under that attic, you get a little intense. But we just watched, stunned, thinking, it's going to be okay, the firemen are here. But in the end, we lost everything. Everything. What a call to let go of the ego. My potato. The ego demands for control and security and possessions. Be careful what you preach. You may have to live it. Recall that on Ash Wednesday, I introduced you to this ancient ritual of planting potatoes on Good Friday. Now, to plant potatoes, you need to cut out the eye of the potato, and you need to bury it. It needs to die in order to produce the new fruit. Like the potato, we need to die to the ego eye. We need to cut out that eye and let it die, and then new life will be born. Today we have another death and resurrection story. Lazarus is a beloved friend of Jesus. When Jesus learns he died, he immediately goes to him. He tells Martha, "Your brother will rise." And Martha thinks, yeah, I know, he's going to rise on the last day. But Jesus says, "No, I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, even if he dies, will live. And everyone who lives and believes in me will never die." Do you believe this, Martha? Jesus asks each of us, do you believe this? Do you believe this? Do I believe this? I don't know, Jesus. Dying to self is a lot harder than I thought it would be. When it's close to home, it becomes a lot more real. It becomes a lot more difficult to let go and trust entirely. When I talk to you about the Easter potato and cutting out the eagle and killing it in order to have new life, little did I know that 2 weeks later, our home would be engulfed in flames, and we would lose everything except the clothes we had on, which were pajamas. After the fire, the firemen took us through to see the damage. There were our 2 potatoes, baked. As Troy said, this is a new potato. Little did I imagine. Folks asked us many times, "What can we do for you? What do you miss the most?" I wasn't sure what to say. I don't know. I really miss something you cannot give me. I miss order and harmony. I miss the comfort and peace of our community. I miss everything in its place. And if you know me, my bedroom, my living space, my prayer corner is just like my office. It's neat and tidy. I really have a low tolerance for disorder, messiness, and loose ends. So I want everything put away in its place and the smoky smell gone. Talk about a bad smell. And I wanted it now. Did I realize God would ask this much when I so poetically talked about the letting go of the ego? The ego wants what it wants when it wants it. Oh, did I see that first week. I came back to the campus, and it was really windy, and my ears were really cold, and I had to have earmuffs. So, first purchase, if I can find it, Duncan bought me a hat. He said it looked really cute. Well, it was warm. That was one thing. I had to have a Tervis cup. These are the same things I always have. I had to have my lunch bag, and I had to have a book bag. And it was like I just had to have these things to go back, to my routine. I found the ego was working overtime. All the little things I just had to have. The craving for the familiar, the comfortable, the knowing was evident. I asked them to look through the rubble for my planning book. I don't do electronic. They found it. It's in my office. It smells very bad, so I didn't bring it in. But they found it. I got my schedule. What grounded me? First off, I found my prayer corner at the Mother House. Oh, I forgot to tell you, 2 days later we moved to our Mother House on Minnesota and Holly Hills. And in our living room we have 3 windows that look east. I can see the river. I needed a journal, a comfortable chair, and a Bible. Easy to get. My need for order and harmony helped me to create a prayer space. Oh, and I bought an orchid. And there in the morning, I greet the day. My prayer is one of gratitude, first for life, then for the litany of folks who have helped us. We moved into the Mother House and received such support from the sisters there. We felt immediately at home. And then it was all your hugs and all your support and all your prayers. They have given great peace and serenity to both Santa and myself. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a struggle letting go of some special pictures like of my mom and dad's wedding and my nieces and nephews. I had them all in little picture frames from graduation. One of them, my nephews, is here today. And I miss books, lots of books. But these deaths are really small compared to the challenge to want everything done yesterday. Would I have dreamed that Lent would have such significance for me? I tell you humbly, I had no idea where this call to die to the ego would take me, and I suspect neither do you. And also, as many of you know by now, my community has called me to provincial leadership. So after 14 years of service here at the CSC, I'm being called by my community to a new ministry, leaving a ministry I love, and each of you, students, community members, and the best staff I have ever had the privilege of working with. This is a very painful letting go. Oh God, what are you thinking? Not what I'm thinking. These letting goes echo the tears and the fears of Martha and Mary and Jesus in this great Lenten story. There is death, but there is also new life. Remember, Easter follows Good Friday. Cutting out the ego demands for control, esteem, and possessions may be ugly and frightening, but like Lazarus, we too will rise. Do we have trust and faith like that of Mary and Martha and indeed Jesus to bring us to new life? Do we believe these words of Jesus? Whoever believes in me, even if she dies, will live. Do we have the courage to offer everything back to God, even our most important possessions? This is one of my favorite songs. It's a prayer. It's a way of living that I aspire to. I believe this is what God is asking of each of us today and every day. Pray it with me.